Hai guys, namaku Ihsan. Aku asli dari Sudan dan dalam video ini aku mau membahas tentang gimana caranya aku bisa bahasa Indonesia dalam beberapa bulan. Dan ini tips aku kalau kamu juga mau belajar bahasa. So I'm gonna do this video actually in English just so that I can better explain all of the tips that I have. And essentially there's 4 main tips and then I have some subtopics or exactly how to do that, which I'm going to explain. So I would say if you're starting learning a new language, when I was learning Bahasa Indonesia at least, especially if you want to know a language from zero or no, you have to learn from other people, I would say, and exactly how they're able to use specific words and vocabulary. So the number one tip I actually have is an app called Hello Talk, and this is not a sponsored video, trust me, but this is exactly how I stepped into learning a new language. And I'm sure you can work for other ones too. But basically on Hello Talk, it allows you to make friends, and you, when you sign up, have to put your target language and the language that you know. And then after you make your account, it starts to show you friends or connect with people that are the opposite situation of you. So for example, my native language is English and I'm learning Bahasa Indonesia. So it matched me like all of the connects as people who speak Indonesian but want to learn English. And for Hello Talk, if you want to use it in a way that's most effective, especially without using a tutor, you need to kind of take it seriously in terms of you need to like build your vocabulary essentially. So one thing or one tip that really helped me is finding people that were also serious to learn the language, because of course there's different accounts. Maybe some people are doing it for like they want to do for school, they're trying to do like I had some people who want to do like a master's degree or study abroad for career. So if you find someone who also has like a serious goal, it also makes it a little bit easier to befriend them because they will most likely also want to help you too. So that's the one thing that really helped me. So on Hello Talk, what you can do on that connect, I think it's the one of the bottoms, you connect to people and then you basically send messages. And of course the first couple friendships are not going to be maybe that in depth, but the thing is that it's a numbers game. So you just have to keep finding, first of all, by reading the bio that people have, if they have similar interests with you, also if they have a similar goal, and around the same age range as you two really helps. That way it's easier to become friends. And then after that, it's just a matter of introducing yourself and just having normal conversations. So for example, I would ask them about specific holidays that they like, maybe just a little bit about their background, like their family. And I think it starts with a really good conversation that way, just to get to know them, how you would make any friend. And then if you, for example, want to learn Spanish or French, maybe you can kind of keep up with topics or current events in that country, and then you could ask your friend that you made, and it helps them to kind of give you new vocabulary for different situations too. I really like the feature that they have there, where basically when someone makes a mistake, you can go in and you can correct it. And it has a really good option because you go in, you press correction, and then whatever you correct now becomes like green, and then what they put becomes an X. So it really helps, and if you're taking it seriously, these corrections can really help because you start to like build a mental storage unit, I guess, of the mistakes that you've done, and then you're able to learn from them. And if you write them down in a notebook too, it really helps so that next time you don't make the same mistake. The next thing, and you've probably heard this a lot, is from watching movies or TV series in the target language. And I especially found Netflix was good at this because the subtitles, almost every video has subtitles maybe in your target language, and you can find different topics or genres that you like to watch. And I would say for movies it's a really good one because especially for Bahasa Indonesia, a lot of movies are formal, so there was like a consistent vocabulary and type of style of talking that they use. But for example, if you wanted to do like a comedy series, that's a little bit different. Maybe there would be like more informal. So it depends what you're trying to go for and the language that you want. If you want to be more formal, if you want to learn casual. I started off with learning formal, and then I made my way to casual. When I started to try to make more friends, and even when I went to Indonesia and I started to meet people who were my age, they started using more casual, right? So I kind of got forced to learn casual too, just to like understand what's going on, right? If you don't have a long attention span, I would recommend TV series. 30 minutes or those 1 hour episodes are really good because you don't have to dedicate maybe 2 hours or a lot of mental load to follow the maybe 2 hour or 3 hour movie. And of course, it's important that you watch what you're interested in, of course. The third tip that I have, and I've actually never seen this one yet as a tip, but it's kind of what I've found so far that worked for me. But basically what I would do is, because I really like to listen to music, is find songs in my target language that I really liked. So you gotta build a repertoire of like maybe your favorite singers or bands in your target language, and that really helps you because it gives you more motivation to want to understand the song and understand the language. So what I would do is start off with ballad or slow songs, okay? And what you want to do is choose one song that you really like or that you have on repeat, and then you want to write all the lyrics down. And I would space it out so there's like the sentence or the lyric, a blank space, and then the sentence or lyric again. That way now you have space in between them to fill in, for example, what each word means. I would start off with the words I already know. So at the beginning, you probably know words that are like the connecting words, like and, but, then, and a few words here and there, I, maybe you. And then you can search online or a dictionary and fill in the new words, the translations for the new words. And that really helped me to learn new vocabulary. And I'd also say it depends on the song, but a lot of songs also are formal or have like more intense vocabulary, maybe deeper emotions. So it kind of gets you into the language a little bit more and able to express yourself more deeply, because of course songs maybe are talk about love or family or connection, and it definitely gets deeper, right? So build your vocabulary in a new sense too, and for different of course situations. And then what I would do is start slowly moving on to faster songs or even like slower rap songs. And what you want to do after that is, once you've written those lyrics of song that you like, you want to repeat it with the singer. Okay, that's why I say start off with slower or ballad songs, because it's a little bit easier to start pronouncing it with them as you're reading along, and then build your way up to faster songs. And what this is actually doing is training your tongue. So I know it seems kind of interesting, but it really does. When you get faster, you start to like be able to catch up quicker, and also helps when you're starting to speak with native speakers too, because you start to use those vocabularies, and you also kind of quickened up the pace when you're trying to copy the singer or follow along with the singer. So I gave an example with my notebook and how I would do it, and one of my favorite singers ended up being like, from especially Indonesian singers, like Hindia. I really liked Sheila on 7, and also let me to just learn, I would say, different ways of expressing emotions. That's one of the really cool things that languages can do, so I recommend that technique. It really helped me. And my last technique is probably something a lot of people will say, but watching social media in your target language is a great way to kind of understand casual speaking, or in Bahasa Indonesia it's like Bahasa Go. And I'm gonna talk about it from the perspective or specific apps of Instagram and TikTok, especially TikTok. That's the one that really helped me. And what you want to do first is kind of curate your algorithm to your target language. So for example, let's say you don't have any content of that yet. So what you would do is like search up memes or things about that country, and then start liking a few of them, and then you'll start to see that your algorithm starts to change after that. Like example, your For You page. And then what I would do is then, as like I'm going through my For You page, I'm starting to pick up things passively, right? But you can make it kind of active by what you have to, by doing like for example, let's say there's a TikTok and it has like captions or descriptions of what's going on, or like the meme or whatever, and now you're gonna kind of learn new casual words. So for example, one of the words in Bahasa Indonesia is akan, which is will, right? So I didn't know what was going on when I was seeing like some Instagram or TikToks where they would use bakal. When I searched it up later, I find that this is another way to say will. So that's just an example. Of course, there are a lot of different other words, like words that start with ng means informal as well, Bahasa Gaul. So that helped me. And what you want to do after that, as you learn these new languages, is put them in a notebook. So this is an example, like something small I have. Yeah, basically this is like just pocket sized, and what I would do is put the new words that I learned, so like in blue, and then what the translation is in black. I would also recommend to have it in your notes app, and that one is really beneficial because sometimes when you're just lying down in bed after a long day, you're just tired, maybe scrolling, you don't maybe have that much energy to just get up and go find your notebook, right? But this one kind of keeps you accountable and keeps you able to still keep learning those new words, because all you have to do is maybe search it up, oh, this is what it means, and put it in the notes app. And the benefit to doing this is actually that as you start putting these words in your notes app, sometimes you're not going to remember, of course, or memorize the word right away. So when you go back to it or come across that new word again, you'll remember, oh, I wrote this down before. So you go back to your notes app and you can see it there. And after doing this maybe 3-4 times, you start to actually put this word in your long-term memory, and you start to remember even when you put it in the first time, or that you've came back to this like 2 or 3 times. And slowly but surely, your notes app will get longer, or these lists of vocabulary words. If I look at mine, it's like the very bottom of the notes app, like very basic words. And then now, as I've made my way a little bit deeper into the language, the words are starting to get more complex, or of course going into just deeper topics, of course. So that's one of my really big tips. It also helps you to see your progress, right? I think that's one of the things when learning a language, you start to, of course, everyone has that point where they're just like any day. They don't feel like they've made a lot of progress in a while, or they start to look back at it a few months, or maybe after a year, like I haven't gotten that deep into it. But just looking at your notes app, you can kind of see, oh, I've already learned so many new words. My words at the beginning were basic, and now they're going deeper. So it kind of gives you motivation as well when you see that, like kind of where you started off, to remind yourself. And of course, we all need motivation when we're learning a language. Okay, so those are my 4 tips for learning a language. I hope they're as beneficial to you as they are for me. Let me know if you think any of them are interesting, like that listening to music one I think was really cool. I kind of just came up with it, but it's probably already out there. So if you guys have any ideas or recommendations for the next video, or what you'd like for me to do, comment di bawah guys, dan aku bisa balas juga. Until next time, bye bye.